Hello, welcome back to episode 48 of the Daily Disney Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I ask that you please check us out. Give us a follow on your favorite podcast outlet. Follow us on YouTube, Daily Disney Podcast, and then on Twitter, we are the Daily Disney Pod. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have talked a lot on this podcast about Disney and different rides and different experiences and changes and things like that. And the whole goal here, we're 48 episodes in, and I don't even know if I ever really talked about this at the beginning, but kind of a state of the podcast. And really, the whole goal here is for me to spend 10 to 15 to 20 minutes talking to you about different things going on and occurring and happening at Walt Disney World in Florida. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, where it's been chilly. We're in the middle of winter. We got a month or two left. I love Disney World. It is my favorite vacation destination. We try to go every couple years. It is crazy expensive. It is very frustrating. And right now is a really weird time to plan your Disney trip. So I do this as kind of an outlet to let my mind wander, as many of you do, to talk about my favorite vacation destination and talk about what's going on there, share some of my experiences, share some of my thoughts, and really just have an open dialogue of all things Walt Disney World. I am not the end-all be-all. I have messed up many times when we go to Disney World. We try to get to Chef Mickey from Art of Animation by riding the monorail. I said, we have to ride the monorail. We have to get there, and we were late. It was a disaster. I took us all over the place. There's a lot of times, even if you think you're seasoned and experienced, you mess up at Disney. You just do. It's a crazy busy place. It's a crazy big place. Your stress is high. So the whole point of my podcast is to hopefully give you some insight, hopefully give you a little bit of information, some tips and tricks, my thoughts about what I see and experience and what I've heard, but then also just talk about what I think is cool and what's important and what I've talked to other Disney fans about. So first off, I thank you so much for joining me and for tuning in. And today, now that we got through the whole here's why we're here, I hate to go negative and I always try to apologize at the end of it, but today we're going to talk about why booking a Disney trip is very difficult. Why is it so tough? We, as a family, went to the beach last year. We did not go to Disney, went to the beach. We reserved our condo months in advance, like you do with Disney. We then kind of planned out what we would like to do. Some places required tickets in advance, most didn't. And then we just knew a lot of this vacation was going to be depending on weather and kids and timing and your energy level and stuff like that. So we just knew it was different. We didn't do one thing that we planned. Not one. We went to the we went to the condo. It was crazy bad storms all week, so we got in the ocean one time, that was it. So everything we did had to be adjusted. And we were able to do that. One of the most frustrating things with Disney is, if something like that happens, you're kind of stuck at times. You have all this planning that you have to do. You have to get your advanced dining reservations planned. You have to get all of your rides planned, especially if you're using Lightning Lane or Genie Plus or whatever we're calling it. You have to kind of plan where you're going each day. You have to make your park reservation. And you have to plan all these things. If one thing goes wrong, if one thing starts the day off incorrectly, or there's a hitch here or a malfunction here, your whole day could be hurt. Your whole day could be hurt. So there are very, very, very few things that you can change on the fly, which stinks. But it's a different vacation. A, the beach, B, a park. You just know that going in. That's not really what I'm going to get at, but that's just a small thing. If you take vacation A, you can relax and you can take your time doing things and you can really do things by the seat of your pants, and the vacation be where it is very structured. For me, I'm fine with structure. For other people, kind of throws them crazy, especially on the vacation. You have to know what you're doing months in advance. That is a big frustration from non-Disney folks. How do I know what I want to do that day? What's the weather going to be like? Why? I'm not going to go see animals in Animal Kingdom if it's 100,000 degrees outside, because they're not going to be outside. Well, you kind of have to guess. You kind of have to guess about the weather. You have to guess where you're going. I don't know if I want to go eat at that restaurant. I don't know if it looks good. It looks good online. The videos look good. Well, you have to make a decision well in advance. Now, is all this necessary? Sure. It did not used to be this way, and it used to be a little bit like the Wild Wild West. It used to be crazy. Back when I was a little guy, you just showed up. That's the ride I want to ride. That's where I want to eat. You walk up. If there's not a wait, you eat. If there is, you go to the next place. Now, the world we live in with technology, Disney is embracing technology, thankfully, but it's kind of hurting that spur of the moment, hey, I want to do this when I wake up type thing. That's just gone forever, right? It's probably just gone. So the frustration of having to book everything so far in advance is challenging. Now, another challenging part of booking your vacation is making sure that you are constantly doing something, which means the way everything is worked, the way everything looks in the different parks and the different systems and everything, you almost feel guilty for spending that afternoon or that day at the pool. And it stinks that way, that it's that way, but you do. If you're there for 5 days and you take a day off, we talked about this a few days ago. What's a great off day look like? Well, the pool, different resorts, shopping at Disney Springs. You feel like you have to be on the run 24/7 to get everything in, because you're only there a certain amount of time, and it is crazy expensive. And you do want to see this, you want to see that, and that's new, and how do I get here, and that line's short. You are on the run like crazy from start to finish. Now, if you go into that knowing it, then that's fine. Make sure you got your good tennis shoes, make sure you got comfortable clothing, make sure you are ready for that insanity that is coming for the next week. Another challenging part is the price. Right now, there's no dining plan. That's a big X for us. I know, you can plan it out, and sometimes you save money, sometimes you spend more money. All kinds of different things. But personally, the dining plan is a vacation must-have, must-do, like Stacy. Or as Stacy would say, must-do. You get to go and basically just say, this is where I want to eat. I'll figure it out, and here's the magic band, boom. Don't have to pay or anything. If I want to go do this, here's a magic band, boom, there's a snack, let's keep it moving. How many snacks do we have left? Okay, what do we need to buy? If there's no dining plan, every single thing is going to be thought about, and you're going to look at every single meal differently. You're just going to look at everything how you look at it at home. Hey, this meal is going to be $50. This is going to be $200. Oh my gosh, that pretzel is $7.99. Everything is different when there's no meal plan or anything like that all included. So there are very, very challenging times here. As they say in Harry Potter world, there are challenging times ahead. A lot of this stuff isn't changing. We just got implemented this Disney Genie Plus stuff in Lightning Lane that you have to pay money now to go to the front of the line and all these different things. They're not going away. The park reservation system is probably going to be there for a long time. The dining plans, it doesn't sound like they're coming back anytime soon. Probably not, at least in 2022. So planning your vacation, that doesn't talk about you need to get everything set 6 months in advance and things like that with your reservations and eating and all that stuff. So planning a Disney vacation is very, very challenging. For us, where are we staying at the beach and what are we doing? And all that changed. Where are we going to get food and everything like that? It's a totally different vacation. For me, it's not as satisfying. I enjoy going to the parks more. But for my family, they like the beach. And I hate to say this because I do a daily podcast and video and I love the place, and I just got off that soapbox a few minutes ago about why I do this. It's becoming very, very challenging to talk to somebody about planning a vacation, because you need to work with the travel agent that knows this stuff better than you do. And even me, I try to look at the news every day. I try to listen to as many podcasts as I can. This Disney stuff is so confusing right now. There's very, very challenging things going on. Now we've got a discounted rate for Disney for Florida residents. There's a lot going on in the Disney World that's very, very frustrating. It's very, very challenging. And if you're listening to this, you're obviously a Disney fan. So you could be shaking your fist at me saying, oh, you're hating on the company and you're hating the mouse and oh my gosh, why don't you leave? Don't even, talk about this. That's not what I'm doing here. I love the place. I love Disney World. I love it. It's so much fun. I enjoy it. I've got my tiki bird right back here. If you're watching on the video, there he is. See? I love everything about it. I love spending time talking to you guys about my favorite attraction or an old school attraction. Yesterday we talked about Horizons, about how great it was and what made it so special. I love doing this stuff, but it is very, very challenging to talk about the day-to-day vacation aspect of Disney World right now in 2022. I read an article this weekend about a couple different popular vloggers that just stopped. One had a podcast that was real popular and one had a blog site, and they just stopped because they really didn't agree with what the Disney properties were doing. Walt Disney Imagineering, they just didn't agree with the leadership. And I understand where they're coming from. My hope and dreams are that it gets better, that it continues to evolve and change. We knew it would be, but right now I think we're in a dark time with the parks. I do. There's some interesting rides coming. Remy's looks cool. The Star Wars stuff is obviously very popular. There's a new Toy Story restaurant coming. I don't know what's going on with Tron. I don't know what's going on with Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, we've been working on those things for years, but they're eventually going to be open. COVID really hurt this company in a bad way. I mean, to close those doors for so long, especially at Disneyland, it's a lot of money they missed. So they've been hurt by COVID. You kind of got to give them a break, but at the same time, I mean, you're not lowering the prices any. My vacation's still going to be between $6,000 and $8,000, $5,000 to $7,000, and I know you can go cheaper and not spend that, but where I want to stay and what I want to do, it's going to be an expensive vacation. So the frustrations, does it match that end result? Does it match the money we're spending? And that's where it's starting to get dangerous, because right now I just don't think it is. Would I drop everything right now and go to Disney World? For sure. But I'm going to miss a lot because I didn't get all the planning done and everything like that in the future. So if you're planning a vacation, I highly recommend talking to a travel agent. There's a ton out there. If you are a travel agent, make sure you comment below so people understand and know and can get in touch with you. But it's a frustrating time, but there's still a lot of good things to do. A lot of these rides are open that you're going to have a great time. The new fireworks are everywhere. There's different festivals going on. The Figment popcorn bucket has to put a smile on your face. There's tons of different things that once you get there, that magic is still there. It's getting prepared, and then some of the daily challenges that unfortunately make it a little frustrating right now. But anyway, that's it. That's it for us. We're going to get off our soapbox, and hopefully you are still going to the parks. Hopefully you're still having a good time. Hopefully I can get back. I don't know if we're going to get there in 2022. We've got a lot of travel baseball ahead of us and a lot of other things like that. But again, I love to do this podcast because it connects me to the parks. It connects me to fans that also have the same vision and hopes and dreams as me with the parks and the same fun. And I've met so many new people here through these episodes, just kind of talking, hey, that was my favorite ride too, or hey, let's talk about this. And it's glad I'm not the only one sitting in a snowy environment thinking about a castle and a big golf ball and stuff like that down in Florida. So thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time. Take care.